Ba-da-ba-ba. Right. Good morning, team. Just check out all our check out the goodnesses. Boom. Oh, there we are. Beautiful. Right. Good morning, team. Hope we're all well. Let me just. Oh yeah, no, we're not too bad. I'm just going to twist that. Make sure my coffee doesn't get knocked over. Just don't mind the cut. It's a little bit of a rush this morning, but that's okay. We'll just shuffle it that way just slightly so we get more of the mid frame in there. Beautiful. Okay, so back onto some. Robro brought up that we have a little bit of a typo. I thought you guys were like 11:30. Maybe it's. I'll double check my I'll double check my my world clock again next time. Um, Power strokes. Okay. As I've always said, I think they're a really fantastic way of building some strength endurance in the form necessary for the rowing machine. Okay. The machine is set up so that we can do them, obviously, with the drag, setting the drag, changing that resistance, basically. We generally, I probably will at some stage do quite a long session, but it's a very hard one to balance because I don't know everybody's, I guess, fitness or whatever. Uh, just wondering why the chat's quiet. Did I not set the? I think we've got. Maybe I haven't set the chat to. Nah, doesn't matter. Um, Sorry, bit of a rush. Old Zacco, getting him on the bus this morning. So basically, what we want to look at is when we've got this resistance and the extra pressure or tension that it puts on our body, right? Um, we have to think about it in terms of the sequence of our muscles, okay, and how we're still looking to drive like our force, okay, and really making sure that we're doing that in a way that is not going to restrict us and also not going to injure us, okay, because it is something that we have to be careful of. We're not doing anything super crazy, which is going to cause that. But at the same time, when we start stacking the resistance higher, every stroke becomes more effort that we have to put into it, right? Normally, when we're on the machine, we're trying to maintain the same amount of pressure per stroke and just tap it along, right? And keep that. Whereas and the amount of power that we're producing to get that is quite easy, right? Whereas when we put that resistance up, air goes out of the thing, flywheel slows down. We have to significantly increase the pressure that we have to put on, right, to get that amount of power. Okay, and so when we're doing that, making sure that we're looking at how we're doing that. And as we get more tired, we tend to start using more of the body off the front. We probably don't get that pressure in that sequence as much. Okay, we start coming away from the hang that we should really be focusing on, and probably starting to think that we need to be a little bit stronger. Okay, so the main focus when we're doing this is to try and hold that form as much as possible. Okay, hold those long arms, really still think about this hang, because while we're still trying to hold this hang, we're building up that hang tension. Okay, so the muscles have to work in a way to be able to hold the amount of pressure that we're putting on, so they will build up that level of strength. Okay, and hence why this is a really fantastic way to supplement some sort of weight training and that you may or may not be doing, and you're doing it in the way that you're holding the form on the rowing machine. Okay. So when we jump through the sets today, we're going to keep the rating relatively low. Okay. So we're just, it's all about the movement and adding that extra pressure just to hold ourselves in that form. So what it really means is when we're coming off the front of the stroke, okay, we will probably feel like we get the connection a little bit quicker, okay, around here, but just really holding ourselves in that shape, okay, in that form. So not thinking, oh no, it's going to be heavy. I'm going to be tense and tense myself up. Okay, accept that it's going to be like that, and so we focus more on stability. We focus more on our body and how we're holding the body, right? Which is a little bit more core stability. Okay, a little bit more stability through the back. Okay, a little bit more connection and thinking through the feet and through the body, that type of thing. And that's how we're going to hold ourselves through these pieces. Okay. So really simple. The first one's just at our normal drag setting. Okay. We'll go up for one number. Okay, 15 is basically a number. Okay, and then we'll go up again to the 22, and then we'll just do 2 sets at 22 without any change. Okay, so we'll do the first one, which is obviously now, a couple of numbers higher, and then we'll just raise the rating a little bit in the last one. Okay, so we'll go up again with a little bit more. So the majority of the session is sort of around that 22. Okay, when you do power strokes, I would implore you to try and probably just offset slightly the rating with the speed flow um, of the flywheel. Okay, so if you're normally training along at 20 strokes a minute, then train at 22. Okay, if you're normally training along at 22, maybe look at 24 if you start doing power strokes. Only reason being that it's a significant change of going up in the drag. Okay, and it really, like, if you go up 3 or 4 slots, okay, really going to slot down. And the only thing is, if you don't have enough movement, it can really wear you down. Okay, if you keep that, like, I've tried to do power strokes at like 16 and 18 rating, and fuck me, it was just horrific. Just because it basically stops every time, and you're like, mate, what the hell am I doing? And if you're experienced enough, that's fine. But I'd like to think that we want to make this enjoyable and easy. Not easy, okay, but we don't want to get into a position where you're like, mate, I slowed down so much and every stroke felt like a labor. I was like, so keeping it in that sense, I think will be perfect. Okay. Right. I'm gonna finish my coffee out of the milk frother. All right. He can go there. And let's just rip into it. Okay. So just a small warm up. Well, just warm up needed, hopefully. You've probably been on here while I was waiting for the bus. Okay. So as always, just this first part really focus on just ease of movement. Okay. Patience, compression. Okay. Just letting that blood flow start moving around the body. Every stroke, just feeling this natural compression to start. Really, when we start off, when I talk about this natural compression, it's really easy to see it when you start because you just generally, generally we're pretty tense, right? Or we don't have the flexibility yet. Okay, so just moving to a point, you're like, oh, can't go any further. Really pinpoints what natural flex is, okay, what natural compression is. And then as we continue to move and the muscles and the joints starting to become more supple, we then move further and further forward. We get better and better compression. Okay, really easy, really smooth. Okay, nice, nice movement. Okay, so really focusing here on when this pressure starts coming on, through this increased resistance, really just making sure that the only process that we think about, instead of thinking, oh no, there's more resistance, I have to be more tense, is just feeling that extra time. Okay, because what it really is the drive now becomes slower, okay, fractional. And I mean that because you've got more resistance. So it's like, ooh. So just use that extra time, fractions of time, to think about holding, think about the feeling, think about the the hands being left out the front, okay, and that connection through the body, okay, the press, letting that body open out, okay. It's a really good, the settled, patient, still moving, this continuous nature of the stroke. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so just think about that. All those little things that we need to do, we need to focus on. Okay, as we're busting along today. Pull that one off. Hopefully that's gonna solve my problem. Yeah, it's good. So, 6 6-minute pieces. We've got that minute in between. Okay, plenty of time to evaluate, think, change, work on stuff. Okay, look at how we're going to do it as we go through this whole workout. Okay, right, let's rip into it. So, select workout, new workout, intervals time. Okay, rip that set time up to 6 minutes, and then scroll across, get that set set ref time at 1 minute, leave it flashing for a second. Okay, just going to make that into big screen. Right. Ba-bum, ba-bum. Okay, so let's press that checkbox now. Okay. Let's rock and roll. Okay, so the first 6 minutes, just rolling along at 20. Okay, good rhythm, good flow, nice and relaxed. Okay, right, here we go. Great, right, nice and set. Are you ready? Right, okay, nice rhythm. Okay, let's just think about the braking, this motion, the time on the drive, time on the recovery, really metronomic, continuous. Right? Nice long arms, really supple. Okay. Don't need to be out long and really sort of trying to push them long. Okay. Let the handle and that resistance of the handle and the chain and the bungee dictate an elastic stretch. Okay. There. Remembering that your hands, where they are, how they feel, are a really good guide as to what's going on. Okay. You feel a lot of tension in the handles. I'll be gripping it too hard. You feel the handle like moving before the seat, we're probably lifting. Okay. You feel like the handle gets left and the butt scoots, probably don't have the connection. Okay. So you can see how the handle and our connection to the handle with the hands, really good checkpoint for how we're doing it. Okay. So rolling into the front, just feel that smooth roll forward on the slide. Okay. Don't be in a hurry to get out of the catch. Okay. Accept the turnaround. Okay. The speed of it. The take up by being set in a nice structured position. Okay. Good. There. Patient. Really nice. Smooth. So just this continuous motion, rolling back and forward. Okay, lovely. I feel that weight build up on the feet, on the balls of the feet. Okay, with this roll in, let those ankles just naturally flex to where we've got a good body position forward of the hips. The arms are out long. Okay, that's our position. That's our front catch position. Okay, be elastic. Don't be too rigid and tense. Okay, we want to be stable, but we also need to be able to have that elasticity. Okay, if we're tense and tight, okay, it can get really like mechanical. Whereas if we're rolling in with the suppleness, okay, we can feel that change. We can feel the body as it compresses and then start to get pressed by the legs, holding, okay, feeling that swing through, okay. Nice, hang, flat, chain, okay, nice and parallel. Really good motion. Think of this motion. Think of the rhythm. Okay, we're picking that flywheel. We're hanging, and we're feeling the sequence of this drive. Okay, we go from compressed to an extended position at the finish. Use the sequence of the drive of the legs driving that body, holding the hang on the arms. Okay, good. Okay, so really nice and patient, thinking about how smooth we can be. Okay, so tuck that drag up. So just the number. Okay, you can go more if you want to test yourself, obviously. Okay, so we're just doing exactly the same. Okay, the same rhythm that we were, but accept the resistance. Okay, accept that there's going to be more pressure on our bodies. Okay, so we'll start off here by that elastic feeling again. You can feel that drive mainly from that front part, how because the flywheel has slowed down so much per stroke, that feeling out of the front is different. Okay, feels like there's more tension. There's that more resistance. Okay, so accept that by holding the hang, holding the bodies, and just feel the pressure that we add. Okay, to compensate for that resistance. Okay, just a little bit more press on the feet, stability in the body. Okay, but keep it under the armpits. Okay, and remember again that if we can stay loose and long in these arms, okay, we push all of that extra down here. Okay, not, oh no, it's heavier. I need to, you know, think about more pressure in my arms. Okay, try and think about the reverse. Try and think about even less with the arms, okay, in terms of the connection, like more hang, more under these armpits, and leave it up to the rest of the body. And because we don't have quite the same acceleration into the finish, okay, it's just a little bit, it becomes more apparent later once we start adding a bit more. But even now, just hold it on, feel the draw, but then create that momentum and inertia around the finish there. Okay. Arm draw, brush the body, transfer the pressure into the fingers. Okay. We've we've got this hang with the hands, we can feel it in our palms, okay, right through. But then once we release, really feel how it's trying to drag our fingers back that way. Okay. That's the relaxation we want to try and find on the recovery. Okay. It helps draw the arms forward, brings the body over with the supple knees. Okay. Good. Okay. Hold this body structure and posture as we roll in and compress. Okay, good. There. All the pressure being created through the stroke. Okay. Not just there at the front. Okay. Through the jaw. Okay. So even though there is more resistance, okay, You still have to keep thinking about the drive length, okay? Not just bang, going to get all the pressure on. Okay, we through that drive, there's the summation of forces from the leg, the body, holding that stretch, the swing of our torso, using the muscle groups, backs, down the lat, in the core, hip flexors, okay? Feeling the quads and the glute, the hammies, pushing up, pushing everything back. Okay? Nice, good rhythm. Keeping that tapping along as much as we possibly can. Okay, lovely. Okay, good. Ready to work. Okay, so towards the end of that, we're into our rhythm. We have got our movements. We've sort of forgotten that we raised the resistance, right? Forgotten about it. After like the first minute or so, you're like, nah, it just becomes normal. Okay, so what we're trying to do is make sure that we create that new normal, and then we sit on it. Okay, so ramp that up. Another 10. Another number. And we're just going to raise the rating at the same time. Okay. Right, here we go. So acceptance, move freely. Let's get our elasticity. Okay, good. So now we're moving that little bit quicker here at 22. Okay, we can feel that first part of the drive now requires that extra effort. Okay, doesn't feel like we really get an acceleration, so to speak. Okay, because we've got the resistance right through that press. So use that to hold the form, but develop the body by making sure we keep this process, this sequence. Okay, the rhythm. Okay? Emotion. Make around the thinner. Feel the hands raw, brush, start the recovery. Good. Okay, nice hang. As we press on both feet, holding that posture, feeling that drive. Hang under the armpits. Okay, good. Make really relax. Try not to feel any more extra build up of tension. Okay. We are going to feel some fatigue because we're not normally used to the pressure, the resistance. Okay. But the idea is to stay relaxed with it if we can. And that's going to build the strength in this form by holding our posture, not changing, and just letting the extra resistance change our physiology. Okay. Okay, good hang. Okay, feel that, both feet and the drive through the body. Feel the hand. Be elastic. Be supple. Remember, once we create this inertia here around the finish, roll with the machine. One speed forward. Rolling into the front. Lovely. Okay, we're just taking that speed. Okay, extra resistance. No grab. Feel the press right through the drive. Good. Okay, good hang. Okay, smooth rhythm. Okay, good. Okay, so you can see how that extra, just that extra resistance and what it does. Okay. We have to keep things moving ourselves, okay, around the finish, leave ourselves to come into the front, but then really think that this drive time, right, it feels longer because we have more resistance. Okay. We don't have that ability to like feel the speed and the body getting like sent back faster with that acceleration. Okay. So exactly the same here. Do it exactly the same. Let's try and be more efficient. Ready? Now. Okay, so we've done one here. Okay, so obviously now we're at least a couple of numbers higher than where we'd normally be. So, you're at 130, now you're at 150, 160. So it's quite significant in terms of the change. So it's really just managing our bodies to get the benefit from what we're trying to achieve here. Okay. So suppleness on the recovery, feel the resistance of the hang and the drive, feel the sequence. Okay. Good. Really nice. Okay. So we settle into this now and we're building our form by this hang. Okay. Feel the hands, feet, and seat here. Still feel the relationship. Good. Roll. Keep the momentum, the hand speed as we brush the body, handles on the plane, minimal vibration on the chain. Let it roar us back. Okay. Really feel the ratio of the effort of the drive to the relaxation and recovery. Okay. Effort, nothing. Effort, recover. Okay. Core stability, keeping the drive. Good. Nice breathe, relax the face. Okay. No tension in the shoulders. Keeping it low. Push both feet. As we roll into the front with the weight of our bodies, roll to a stop naturally. Okay. There. Compression, body compression. There. Okay. We're not going for any more. We're literally going to where we're going to stop. Okay. There. Roll. We're prepared. We're elastic. We're supple. Good. Okay. Nice loose hand. Hanging the fingers. Good. Nice easy roll. Okay. Feel that drive again. The resisted motion through the drive. Good. Good hand. Let that feet just naturally roll underneath her. One speed. Okay. We created the body motion off the bat, getting the shoulders forward, rolling there. Okay. Lovely. Okay. So, obviously, I feel like I'm working reasonably hard because of my muscles and how they're feeling. Okay. Even though the rating's pretty sedentary, trying to stay relaxed, this is what resistance training does. Okay. So, play it by ear. Okay. If you can, whip it up. If you feel like, might just keep it where I am, that's fine. Okay. But we'll do half of this at 22. We have to keep moving because that extra resistance, right? Ready, go. That extra resistance on the drive going to be telling, but then we can just try and add a little bit more speed to our push and leg speed and the drive speed to take it up to 24. Okay, so we can feel that now. Okay, keep the hand long, keep the body structure and posture stable. Okay, roll in, drop into the front, and we can feel that drive. Okay, we can feel that sequence right through the drive. Okay, and if we hold the arms long under the armpits, we're not going to burn out these small muscles by being tense. Okay, really picture this hang, the extension of these arms. Okay, holding that pressure right through the body. Okay, really drive as we come into that compression and push out, extend, extend. Okay, lovely. Okay, breathe into it. Relax the face. Okay, lovely. Okay, keep the suppleness, but also keep our stability. Stability without reverting to tension. Okay, keep hold of our body and the structure. And be elastic, smooth. Okay, up to now. So we have to try and find more drive speed. Okay, hands around the finish. Brush the body. Okay, create the inertia. Okay, and just breathe into this here. Okay, with me, long arms. Feel that pressure out of the front as we drive through the whole motion of the stroke. And the pressure transferring through the hips and the core, allowing that body to be driven back. Okay? Right, last 500 meters. Keep it moving. Breathe into it. No facial tension. Keep the arms lax. Out of the shoulders. Okay? Remember these hands. Okay, they're a connector to the machine. Have a look at your chain. Nice on the plane. Minimal vibration. Okay? Good. Roll into the front. Nice and stable bodies. Good posture. And drive it through. Right through the drive. Okay? Doesn't have to be first half. It's right through. So supple, relax. Okay? Really good. Okay? A lot of tension. You can see in that last part, really calling for that, feeling right through the drive. Okay? So back down. Where are we? 8 to 5. Okay. So 2-minute changes here. 22, 24, 26. Okay. It's really going to feel accelerated. Okay. So work with it, but just work on the rhythm at the same time. Here we go. Okay. So take our patience on the way forward. And then, because we were thinking about right through that drive on the last power stroke set, take it into this. Okay. Right through. Even though we've got the acceleration, feel right through the drive. Go. Nice. Okay. Feel the rhythm around the finish. Supple. Soft knee break. Roll into the front. Okay. Don't be in a hurry out of the catch. Take up as we press. Okay. Go. Nice one. Nice motion. Okay, keep the hang, keep the suppleness and the feeling in the hands, our connectors. They teach us a lot. They give us a lot of feedback. Okay, up to now. Okay, flywheel increases. We move with that extra speed. Okay, good. Tap it along. Okay, really nice. Okay, so coming to the thought process, speed's already there. Relax, roll, and compression. But still thinking the drive right through, okay? Right through. Legs and body. Being driven back. Holding these arms out long, under the armpits. Okay? Hold that acceleration, that speed of the flywheel. Okay? So breathe, up to now. Okay, just accelerate. Speed, inertia, less. Okay? So relax the face, pedal into this here. Tap it along. Use that drive right through. Okay, good. Nice. Armpits out of the shoulders. Stretch the body. Let chain. Good. Last minute. And stay loose. Less of it. In the drive. Both feet. Letting the body back. Palms out of the socket. Okay. Good. Tap it along now. Last few strokes. Take the speed. And press. Sting. Good. We're good. Okay. We'll just take our time here. Hey, deep breaths. Okay, so really good all round. Okay, whole thing, real good. Okay, so we use that first part of the session to really think about just reset your menus, just save everything into your monitor, your data, etc. So we use those first 5 sets to build up a feeling, okay, a resistance feeling. Drive felt longer, slower, required more energy, so to speak. It's probably the easiest way to think about it. Okay. And if we were thinking about the motion and the process of the drive right through, when we had that resistance, okay, we use that resistance to make sure we get that feeling. Okay. Now, if you started to wear down, okay, you might have found yourselves like really pushing and then probably maybe trying to finish the stroke off, okay, rather than just letting that stroke happen and the inertia flow through, okay, which classic signs of we either don't have enough swing, okay, so we're either using the body too early or we're not quite engaged as much as we could be, okay, and those are the telltale signs, okay. If we did feel like we had that pressure through there, okay, we felt it through the body, right through to the drawer. Okay, good. That's what, when we're doing power strokes, we want to feel, because we can feel that resistance from that point right through. And it doesn't really, it changes slightly, but it's less significant. Okay. Whereas when we were doing this last set, I'm sure you all felt that it was like there and it's like woof, really quick towards the finish. Okay. Which means that it's more exaggerated with the finish speed of the stroke. So if we can take that part here into that last bit where I was trying to say, still feel that push. Okay, if you still feel that push, what actually happens is while you're doing it, you're going to get natural acceleration because your drive and your pressure is going to supersede the resistance, which creates the acceleration. Okay, if the resistance is too high, the resistance stops your acceleration of the stroke. Okay, so if you can do the power strokes and then chuck this one on at the end, okay, you start to see the difference between it. Okay, and so when you're riding along normally, you're doing pieces. Okay, you got to start to. It's more of a psychological thought process of what does the acceleration comes from? Comes from the drive or the speed of the drive, right? Yeah, but it's also the physics of you and the machine, of your power and pressure and drive speed versus the resistance. And if all of your stuff is better than the machine, you're going to accelerate it, and you can accelerate it significantly more. Okay. And so that's where our acceleration comes from, is from realizing that as we're actually driving, our driving is going to get a lot quicker. Okay. And that's why if we're holding our form and we're holding it from the front and we hold that posture, then when we accelerate it, we get the best opportunity to get the best, okay? To try and find our potential. We miss it slightly, it's okay. We're just not at our potential. Okay, we lift a bit, we just can't get to our potential. And all we're trying to do is get to our potential. So we're like, fuck, you know what? Those numbers are great. It felt real good. Okay, and that's the whole idea, is learning those types of feelings so that when we're riding along by ourselves, thinking about what we're doing, it's just a slight thought process rather than thinking, I've got to try and speed up my acceleration. It's like, but if I get it properly here, it's going to accelerate. Okay. So just all of those little things that we think about, Okay, and we take them through with us and really just use those going forward. Okay, right. Uh, Good little puddle developed under me today. Very good little puddle, actually. But otherwise, really, really good. Okay, great session as always. Um, as I always talk about, um, you know, making sure that what we're doing and how we're doing it are always the crucial parts. Okay, but at the same time, yes, we do have to get out of our comfort zones a little bit. But that's just how we have to do it. Okay. Great workout. Another awesome workout. Much appreciated, Rich. Rover, I don't have power strokes as much as I used to. Yeah, but that's the thing, right? Is that power strokes? There's so many different ways, right? I like doing them. I probably I'll keep doing more of them in certain aspects. Okay, and it's a very dependent on you know what you're trying to do and what you're trying to achieve. And is this set for anything in particular, or is this just your standard fitness training? Blah blah blah. But of course, high intensity power strokes are really good for trying to find that explosive power. Okay. Like shorter ones, maybe 3 minutes, ramping the rates, that type of thing. Could even just be 1 minute pieces. They're a ripper. But then also, and I encourage everyone sometimes, if you're going to sit there and do half an hour or say 3 10 minutes or 14, whatever it is, um, you know, push the drag out for one or two of them. Okay. And only reason being is yes, I know we're focused on this and our numbers and all that sort of thing, but sometimes we need to be less focused on that and be more focused on us. Okay. And yes, that's a good feedback, and we need that feedback because it does tell us if we're doing things properly. But if you went from 10 minutes at 20 and then did 10 minutes at 20 again with extra drag, and then you just left the drag where it was, and then you did 10 minutes at 22. Okay, you've just raised that drag just to get like more of that feeling. Okay, because the drive, as I say, like when and you'll all know it from what we just did, that drive becomes more of a drive right through. Okay, it's less of a drive and a speed increase with the body speed increase, right? And especially like in this one here at like 24, I really felt like there was almost virtually no acceleration of my body as I was driving it through. It just felt like a brrr, right? And so using those types of things in your training, they give you an understanding, okay? And it goes, oh, I can feel that my body does feel more of a brr. And then so when you take it down and then you feel like woof, and then oh shit, now I feel that. Okay, but you're focused when you've got that resistance to actually feel the drive all the way through. And when you take the resistance down and you keep the same feeling, what ends up happening, which I explained before, is that you're still doing the same motion, but because that's less that resistance, your body's going to accelerate towards the finish. Okay, so those small things are what can make a big impact. Okay, in your ride. Okay, flat power curve at the high drag factor, pretty depressing. Uh, Sorry to hear that, but the the it is difficult. Okay, and that's one of the things as well, is that resistance is there for a reason, and that's why using it a little bit more is really going to help. Okay, and understand that, and the force curve shouldn't have an acceleration when you get up there. Okay. It should look reasonably flat because of that. Now, if it's like, really shitty, then that's okay, right? Maybe it's just you're not getting the connection right. And that's why sometimes going up a lot higher in the drag might not necessarily be good for you. Okay. But it is something to learn from, and it's something to take forward, and it is something to try again. Okay. And I really do encourage people to do that. Okay, lovely stuff. Pims, great power stroke session. Last set felt so free after. Yeah, and that's it. Well, that's why I feel like we always, at the end of it, we want to do something to transfer what we're trying to do, right? Which we're trying to do that resistance and feel that resisted drive through the stroke. And then when we take it off, we still try that resisted drive, but we get a completely different outcome, which is that accelerated swing with the body through the drop. Okay. And yes, it should feel free. It should be like, mate, this is fucking Christmas. And that's why you see a lot of people, doing resisted stuff before they like warm up, and there's no reason why, if you wanted to do some pieces, you could actually do a couple of warm up pieces with the drag a little bit higher, right, to get that feeling of this, and then when you take it off, you're going to get this, right? You're going to get that speed through, okay, and it is just tricking the body basically. Ellen, what tells you that the bungee needs replacing? Uh, on the machine, you should feel like this wants to go like that. Okay. It really wants to pull you back. So even when you finish like a stroke, you want to really feel like if you just like let your arms go, it's going to do that. And it's not going to be like, you shouldn't get like super amount of like bounce on this. Whereas if your bungee's probably a little bit slack, you might see a bit more of this. But as I say, the other thing too is I would replace mine every 6 months. It's $15. Like, fuck, I spend more on a sleeve of golf balls that I'd probably lose in one round, right? And yet, for 10 minutes of work and flipping your machine up and following the instructions that are on Concept 2, you can make a massive change to your machine, which is something you're using all the time. So if it was me, 6 months, if you're using it regularly, change it. They're cheap as chips. Once you change one of them, you'll get it. Okay, it is a little bit of a faff if you haven't done it before. Follow the instructions, watch the videos. It's not difficult. If you can have some help or you got some vice grips to hold, if you think that's okay, you'll learn that sort of stuff. But otherwise, makes it feel so much better. Okay. Right. Perfect team. Well done. Pat on the back. Keep up good work. Keep working on different things during the week, as I say, like chop and change, sprint. Mix up your program. Okay, different things during the week. Few endurance sessions, couple of tempo, couple of high intensities. Stagger them out. Don't do them all like one after the other. It's really good to go sort of tempo, endurance, high intensity. I feel like that's a pretty good space in between. And use it, enjoy it. Interval training, keep up. I encourage, like, yes, we want to do time, but at the same time, interval training is great for this. Okay, just like this. You could do an hour on the machine if you needed to, right? But you could do 4 15-minute pieces. You have 30 seconds in between. You have a quick drink, shake it off, back into it. Okay, easy. 3 10-minute pieces, 30-second rest, same thing. It's not going to affect it in anything, not going to affect the fitness at all. What it does is it affects this. Okay, you get better at switching on, okay, working on things for a certain period. Really going to work on this relaxation forward on this first one. Coming in and feeling that change. Great. Okay, second one, really going to focus on the drive. Perfect. Third set, going to do this. Okay. To use those types of things because I think it's more beneficial than just sitting on here and just watching it count down from bang to bang. Okay. Perfect. Thanks, team. All the best. See you guys back here next week. I'm going to go get a mop and clean up. Perfect.